And when you think about this, this would have been the perfect guest. This is, of course, well, the Founders podcast that Meghan Markle has come up with, all about very successful women in business and how they got there. And I don't know about you, I would be fascinated if at some point we got to learn some aspect of some of the people that she's interviewed. The bits that I've heard, and I have to be honest and say, I've not heard all of it, but really it's not exactly given me much of an insight. What I do find out week after week so far, and this is the second week, is that Meghan's medical issues or her children's medical issues. What people tune in for things like this for is to find out where did they get their backing, what was their first break, were they from a wealthy background or did they start from scratch? This is more interesting, but of course with Meghan it proves always difficult because nobody can be bigger than the ex-royal herself. You get the picture. But you see, behind the scenes at her latest company, Lemonada, they only had their eye on one particular individual. And according to a very well-placed source, even they thought they could persuade this individual to, shall we say, kiss and make up, all for the good of the podcast. As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Nice to see you here. And as ever, thank you, Tel, for taking the time out to join me. It's not a bad afternoon, actually, at this point. Yeah. Well, it's going to rain in a minute. You can tell that, can't you? Well, you can because I've got, yes, the camera out. The minute I get this camera out, chums, let me tell you, suddenly you spit in the air or something. You think, where did this come from, you know? But it's nice to be near nature, as Catherine, the Princess of Wales, said. Just walking around these beautiful green trees, you do kind of think, yes, they are calming, they are relaxing, and I totally understand what she means about just getting in somewhere green and switching off, you know? I just think, yeah, you know, you kind of think, not a bad thing, is it? It's all about where you live, though. But even if you can just get to a local park like this one and have a wander around, it's good for you. Perhaps that's something that Meghan Markle should do. Take her foot off the gas and realise exactly what she needs to do in order to make her brand successful. You see, when you think, Meghan, as I've often said, has had umpteen opportunities. The deal with Spotify literally would have been the launch pad to be a very successful career in that land of podcasting. Now, the one guest that really would have made this series, whether you're a fan of this person or not, is none other than the former Spice Girl, Victoria Beckham. You see, Victoria Beckham decided, well, she liked being a pop star, but then grew up and thought, well, you can't be a pop star forever, and branched out into her first passion, which was none other than fashion. And she was always the sort of stylish one, you know, always wanted to be the first to look at the latest trends. And I admire the fact that she stuck to her guns and at times been offered a lot of money to go back to her pop roots. But, you know, apart from the Olympics, she stuck to her word and built a brand at a huge cost, it has to be said, but nonetheless now is a respected person in that fashion arena. Takes a lot longer to get the full respect. Not an easy company or an easy sort of genre to get into. But you see, her story is fascinating. You know, popping up and landing an ad from the Stage newspaper to becoming one of the 5 people in a mega band that took the 90s by storm. How did she reinvent herself? What were the pitfalls? What were the successes? And suddenly, how did she supply dresses to none other than Catherine, the Princess of Wales? How did that evolve? You can understand why Lemonada would think she was a fantastic guest. One, that would have been an easy get if Meghan Markle had not have fallen out with the Beckhams by allegedly accusing them of leaking stories to the media. But that's celebrity, that's in the past. And according to a source, what they were hoping to do was to reach out to Victoria and basically say, look, this is for the good of your brand, this is for the good of course, your story, and we can put it out there. Now, apparently, and I mean this nicely, the deafening silence has been, well, as you can imagine, very hard for some to take. But if this had been a success, say, on Spotify with archetypes, then perhaps Victoria might have thought, you know what, I can reach a brand new audience. But given, once again, that Meghan's Founders is floundering, and the fact that she fell out with Victoria and David in such a big way, even the magical people at a brand new company seemingly can't magic up a bit of spice to once again, even if you don't sit down in the same room, speak across the airwaves to let the world know exactly how Victoria Beckham became a success and the Duchess of Sussex, ex, became, well, Meghan Markle, Meghan Sussex, whatever. You understand? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.